Hi there, everyone. Welcome to week 5 of college writing. We've hit over the halfway point, so we're now on the downward, so we can try to push towards home. I hope that this has been beneficial for you guys so far, and I know sometimes there's going to be times where it seems like I'm being very nitpicky on little things like double spacing, MLA, punctuation, but that's part of the purpose of this class, especially if you're a freshman or sophomore. You have a lot more road ahead of you, and if you're going to seminary or even graduate, doctoral work after that, even if you're not, and if you're just going through Moody, there is a lot more papers in your future. I know because I went through Moody for 4 years and did a master's in writing, so I know there's a lot of writing ahead. When I get nitpicky, it's because I want you to succeed. I want you to be able to do your other papers and not have to constantly worry about punctuation or the formatting. That's going to be ingrained in your brain so much by the end of this course that it should be a lot more comfortable and easy and familiar for you. Let's look at what we're doing this week. First, we have reading the essay called Cruising, and then taking a look at it, figuring out like what is a paragraph for, what's the purpose, and then if you could copy and paste the text, the essay, into a Word document. Answer the question, how does it make you feel to only have one long paragraph, and what is the purpose of the paragraph, and then have the text and make the actual paragraphs within the text, and then tell me why you chose to separate and make the paragraphs the way that you did. 5.2, developing your opinion, looking at a local newspaper or an online newspaper like the Times of New York or Chicago, the Trib, or some other well-known, if you're out in the West Coast, LA Times, anything in your area, or online, doesn't have to be in your area, but anything national. Look at some of the editorials and opinion letters, things that people have written in to the newspaper, and then answer these questions for me. Why did that specific one impress you? Did you agree with the author? Did the author express opinions in ways that are easy to understand? Did they support it? Did the author give reasons for why he or she felt this way? So take a look. Tell me what newspaper it was, what the name of the article was, and the author of the article, and the general topic of it, and then answer those few questions for me. That's for 5.2. Looking at 5.3, you're going to start brainstorming for topics that you feel very strongly about. And it has to be something that you are qualified to speak on, something that you have a lot of knowledge of, something that you've experienced firsthand, or you know intimately people who have experienced or dealt with whatever it is firsthand. So like opinions, then fill out some of these, answer these questions for me. What opinions do you have about the town where you live? What about your group, or your age group, your broad age range, like 20 to 30, 30 to 40? What about your ethnicity? What opinions do you have about your workplace or a sport that you participate in, something like that? And then any national or political topics as well. Write down some ideas off of those that you have, of each one of those. And you can also think about things through the church, both locally where you worship locally and then the church at large. And then from looking at all of those things that you've written down, what opinions do you have about those, right? Give me 5. And then star the 3 that are the most important, or that you feel the most strongly about, or that you're going to be able to write a very strong and supported editorial. It can have your opinion, obviously, because that's what the editorial is, but it also needs support from outside. So think about those things. So that's 5.3. 5.4. Then reading the other opinions of the 2 former Moody students who had their editorials published in newspapers because of how well they were done. So then read that, and then just give me a quick, it doesn't have to be very long, paragraph or something like that. Talk to me about how they narrowed their topic. Show me and talk to me how they narrowed their topic, and then how did their personal experience support their opinion. So again, this doesn't have to be very long. It's more of a reading thing, but read those 2 things, and then give me about a paragraph talking and addressing the statements in the last sentence of that assignment. Now 5.5, write a thesis for your editorial. Remember, thesis is 1 sentence, has to be very strong, clear, concise, arguable. think of everything you've looked at so far. The OWL, the Purdue OWL Writing Lab, which is kind of like your grammar Bible, essentially. Look at that. What that says about thesis. Back in the first week or two, I posted a link to a direct page of theirs. I'll put it in this announcement, in the announcement again today, about a link to how to go about writing a thesis. You have to then answer these, once you've figured one out, then answer these questions for me in your assignment. Is it narrow enough? If it's too broad, you're going to spend your whole editorial trying to work down to it, and you don't have that much space in an editorial to work down to it. Is it provable? Is it something that you can actually prove, not just with your experience, but with your outside support? And is it clearly defined? Are the things within your thesis statement clearly defined? So then submit that to me with those questions answered. And that is for 5.5. And then also give me the name of a publication that would be the appropriate type or genre of publication for your editorial piece. Your editorial, that one is going to be 2 to 3 pages. I think last time I taught this class we did 3 to 5, but we're going to do 2 to 3 for this. Because when you submit an editorial, they don't want something super, super long. So 2 to 3 pages has to be a minimum of 2 full, and then the works cited, and no more than 3, and then the works cited. So it has to be at least 2 full pages, no more than 3 full pages, and then the works cited page is an extra page beyond that. So that should help you as you're thinking about writing your thesis. And then from your list, it could be the topic that you're going to end up writing about, or it could be a different topic altogether. From your brainstorm list, write out an opinion that you feel strongly about, explain why you feel like you have the ability and the qualifications to speak about it, why you care about it, and how you're going to prove your point in your editorial. And then, as usual, respond to at least 2 other people's opinions, and then get in depth. Do you agree with the student? It's okay to not agree with each other on everything, but do you agree? If you don't, state some support and reasons why not. If you do, encourage and say that why you happen to agree with that person. I believe that's it for now. If I think of something else, I'll put another announcement on the board. Just be sure to do your works cited. A lot of things that came in for the definition essay, there may have been like a works cited, but many of them were not formatted properly, or there wasn't a works cited at all, and there weren't any outside supports provided. And I did mention in the video last week, you have to have outside support when you start talking about like a definition essay and an editorial, and then later on an argument essay. You have to have outside support, and you have to have a works cited for that. So make sure you keep that in mind as you work on your editorial. It doesn't have to be 10 or 12 things, scripture, and then maybe 2 or 3 other supports for the purpose of like a 2 to 3 page editorial. For a 3 to 5 page, you might want to have 3 or 4 at least. But you have to have outside support. It can't be just you. Otherwise, readers aren't as prone to turn to your point of view if it's just you saying it. But if you say it and you have other people who say the same thing as you, and they're respected people, professors, authors, speakers, that adds credence and makes your argument more solid. So keep that in mind as you move forward for the editorial and for the argument essay in another week or 2. That is it, and we'll talk to you later.